Thank you very much. Please. Well, I really appreciate that nice introduction and a chance to come back to the 92nd Street Y. I've been here twice before and always was exhilarated. At least when I got here, the questions sometimes are quite sobering, which I don't particularly oppose. And it's always nice to get a good introduction. In some cases, still, after all of my life in public, I am a little ill at ease at first. I have in the past tried to tell a funny story to start a lecture. I'm not a good joke teller. When I decided to run for president, everybody said, well, he doesn't have a chance to win, but he's a Southerner. He knows some good, funny stories. And so we'll at least enjoy his campaign. What they didn't realize was it was my successor in the White House who was a good storyteller, not me. But I have to say that on occasion I have done quite well. The few years I was in the White House, my jokes went over quite well, regardless of the audience. And then when I left the White House and went to Japan, China first and Japan, I made a lecture without fee to a small college near Osaka. And it was a graduation exercise at a little college. I only had about 600 graduates, and this is a true story. The kids were very nervous. I had not been out of the White House very long, and the parents and the teachers at the college, the administrators were all uptight. I was a little bit. I had a good interpreter from a foreign ministry. And as you have probably known, if you've made a speech in English and had it translated into Japanese, it takes longer in Japanese. So I decided I would put myself and them at a little bit at rest. So I decided to tell a joke. Instead of telling the best joke I had, I told the shortest one to get it over with. So I told my short joke, and the interpreter told the joke. And the audience collapsed in laughter. It was the best response I have ever gotten from any joke I've ever told. So I couldn't wait to get back to the holding room after the lecture was over, and I asked the interpreter, how did you tell my joke? He was very evasive. But I insisted, and he finally ducked his head, and he said, I told the audience, President Carter told a funny story, everybody laughed. Well, that, shows that there are some advantages in having been President of the United States. Another advantage is coming here to be with you tonight. I want to take a few minutes to tell you about this book. This is the 7th book I've written and had published. Several of them have been bestsellers. My wife wrote one book by herself. It was number 1 on the bestseller list. But the others have still, Rosen asked me to announce on sale. So that's out of the way. This one is called Turning Point, and I think it's a remarkable book in a completely objective, non-subjective analysis. And it's gotten very good reviews. But what I tried to do in this book is to go back 30 years and try to present to an audience of intensely interested people what was the turning point in the history of our nation in dealing with social problems and the race issue. A lot of people think it was Brown versus Education ruling by the Supreme Court in 1954. Others think it was the decision by Lyndon Johnson to seek voting rights acts. It was really in 1962 when the Supreme Court ruled the end of the county unit system and the initiation of the one man, one vote ruling. I know that political propriety requires one person, one vote, but at that time it was known as one man, one vote. I'm not ignorant about the niceties of gender discrimination. Anyway, at that time, the South and many parts of the nation for almost 100 years since the war between the states had perpetuated racial discrimination in the South under the aegis of separate but equal. How was this possible? In a developing economy, an emerging South, a democratic nation with justice and equality guaranteed, how were the black people in the South kept in almost total submission to white leadership? It was done through what was known as a county unit system because votes were cast and counted by counties, not by people. I had a difficult time
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.